Hello everyone. So let us start our session today. There are three things which I want to clarify right at the outset. First of all, let us try to make it as usual, interactive as much possible. So you can put all your questions and queries, okay, in the comment section, and I would like to take all your doubts or queries with respect to whatever we are going to discuss. Otherwise, also whatever you have to ask, especially after prelims, what you have to do, which anyhow I'm going to discuss in more detail. Second thing, there may be slight issue with the connectivity today. Some problem is there, so just bear with that. I don't think it will affect us, but if there are disruptions, then I will reschedule this session again afterwards, or I will upload the recorded video. So what is going to be the agenda of today's session? We are going to discuss 5 issues today. Okay, so obviously we are going to discuss in detail about the test series program, but before that I also have to discuss something in relation to how you need to prepare after your prelims. Okay, so the agenda for today's discussion is going to be, first and foremost, we are going to talk about what shall be your strategy after prelims. Okay, what shall be your strategy after prelims? Those people who are going to write the main examination, or those people who are not clearing not clearing prelims, for both of you we will be discussing the strategy, what you will have to do with respect to your overall preparation and specifically with respect to your optional. Then second issue what we will be discussing is, second issue we are going to discuss is about uh, how to prepare for public administration. Okay, after prelims especially. Third thing we are going to discuss, what shall be your focus areas as far as public administration is concerned in relation to your preparation for this year mains or also otherwise. Fifth thing is, we will be discussing everything in relation to the test series program. So I'll clear all your doubts related to the process, how we are going to go about it, how it is going to be managed, and then I will also tell you something about the answer evaluation slate. That is an alternative to test series. Some of you who would not like to enroll for the test series, there is another option which you can do in case you want to practice more answer writing sessions. Okay, so there is a question from Satya Narayan. You targeting for the year 2023. You have completed the syllabus but couldn't interlink with paper 1 questions. Okay, right. So we will be talking about, let's see what and how, what value enrichment can be there, what value addition can be there after you have done your preparation. Okay, so let's first of all talk about the strategy. What shall be the strategy after prelims? What shall be your strategy after prelims? Now, I would like to listen from some of you who are watching, like what all challenges you people are facing. I mean, most of the students should either have got in touch with me by now, whether you are clearing your prelims or you are not clearing your prelims. One thing you have to keep in your mind, that you have to be continuously on your path towards preparing for the exam, no matter whatever the result is going to be for the preliminary examination. Now you can learn from a lot of other people who have set examples. You can take their inspiration. Even if you talk about people who have been doing good in the examination, who have been clearing mains, giving interviews, then clearing or not clearing, they have been pretty consistent in terms of their approach toward the exam. No matter whatever happens, like a lot of people who don't clear their interview, they are back to square one, as many of you who would not be clearing your prelims, and still they will be, putting their consistent, persistent efforts towards their goal. So that has to be there, that no matter whatever the result at whatever level of examination is there, you should not lose on your consistency, your persistence and your perseverance. Because those people who have been clearing the exam finally, many of them are clearing in the third attempt, fourth attempt, fifth attempt, and they have been consistently putting that effort. They have been writing the test series or answer writing consistently over the years. It is not that just answer writing practice or your elevation with respect to this particular skill, it will suddenly happen that when you will clear your prelims and then you will start writing answers, right? So I would suggest that you have to be, even after prelims, whether you are clearing the examination, whether you are not clearing the examination, you have to be consistently on your path towards preparation for the main examination itself. Right now you should discipline yourself. Take up a particular planner. Whether you are joining the test series or you are not joining the test series, you can prepare your own planner and work accordingly, so that within 3 months you excel with respect to the main examination, not only in terms of completing the content but also in terms of practicing answer writing, practicing certain tests. Because if you see, even if you are not writing and doing the practice, you will be in the similar situation next year, and it is going to be very difficult. Anyhow, if you are focused and you want to prepare for the examination and you want to give the examination, then you have to continuously keep writing after you have done your level 1 preparation. So I would suggest that there are few things which you have to keep in your mind. First of all is discipline. It's very important. Discipline yourself. Either you discipline yourself through the test series program, through the answer evaluation slate, or you discipline yourself through your own planner, your own plan, right? So discipline is must. Second thing is there has to be persistent effort towards your goal, right? Or you can say there has to be consistency towards your goal. There has to be focus towards your goal. You need to be having a lot of perseverance. I'm just writing these words so that you keep, you emphasize on them and try to introspect. And then of course you need to take a lot of advantage of whatever you have already achieved. Right now, when I say you have to take advantage of whatever you have already achieved, this is in terms of like you have already done your preparation once, right? Most of you have done your classes. Now you have gone through the entire syllabus once. You have a good understanding about all different aspects of the syllabus. We have done a lot of discussion of question and answer in the class itself. You already have a lot of material with you with respect to the question and answer structures. You can go through that also, or even when you have gone through all, you have achieved a particular level of your preparation. And this is the advantage you have, that now when you are going to build on this particular foundation, it is going to be very helpful for you, right? So take the advantage of this this particular fact that you have already prepared so nicely for this particular year. Even though you may not have put as much of effort as was required, but at least you have completed the syllabus once, right? So for next year it is going to be far more easier. What you have to do now is to gear up, and start preparing for your main examination from this level and start building up, right? And that of course will happen as I'm going to discuss more with respect to how you need to prepare for the next year either, or for this year also, as far as the subject is concerned. Okay, so as far as public administration is concerned, let us now, in case if you have query related to that, you can ask me with respect to what all you have to do after prelim, but I'm going to be more specific with respect to public administration. Second aspect is how to prepare for with respect to this subject, right? Public administration, what you have to do now this particular year. So immediately now itself, I would suggest that whether you have cleared the exam or whether you have not cleared the exam, in both the cases you have to be in the same mode of preparing for your main examination. Set up your target that you are going to revise the entire syllabus, as I was mentioning, through a particular planner which you can create for yourself, or you can follow the test series or the answer evaluation slate planner, either of them, and then try to cover units. And there also I will tell you where you can put a little more focus, what units will be more important for you. So first thing that you will do is you have to be doing, first thing is that you need to revise, do a revision first and foremost of your class notes. class notes, all of you know that your class notes is more or less complete in every terms, right? It has been very well structured, proper framework is there. Once you are going to revise, everything is going to settle down. Now along with the class note, once you are doing the revision, then alongside you need to do some value additions. How the value additions will happen? For value additions, you can use different sources. You can take the help of some of the books which I have already suggested you, in which the important ones of course would be Mohit Bhattacharya, New Horizon for Public Administration. You can select some chapters, right? I'm going to discuss something more in detail with respect to different units also, where you can put your focus. So first of all, you can focus upon books. Second thing you can do is you can focus on some of the articles which we have given to you, which we have floated, right? Or you can have some more articles. You can get some IIPA journals, okay? And you can have some press information bureau releases or certain current updates, right? So you will have to, what you can do is that you just make your class notes itself as the base, because I think that is the most structured format for preparing for this subject are your class notes. To those class notes, either in the same notebook or separately itself, when you are reading the same issue from the books, you may get some kind of analytical expressions, you may get some analytical points, or you may get some value enriching points. Please try to add it either there in the class, either it is there already, or you may just add something over there for that purpose, okay? And also you can do one more thing, is that please try to revise. I can write this as a second point also, or maybe along with this revision itself, all the question and answer structure which have been given to you, okay, as part of your booklet. You can go through that and try to pick up certain expressions, some extra points from there also, and remember either or add to your class notes, so that everything is complete at one place, and it will be very easy for you to remember, revise, or maybe even for the last moment revision when you are going for the exam. So this is the first thing you will do. And also try to see that there may be certain loopholes in certain areas of the syllabus which you feel that you are not very confident about. So I would suggest that please read those particular area. If it is more important, then try to find out books from where you can get those sources. I think I've already told you about all the topics and units, what are the sources. So please try to follow from there and cover everything up. Figure out, try to also find out your weak points, or maybe certain loopholes which may be there, okay? Then apart from this value addition, the third thing you have to do is that you need to also try to convert you can say content, okay, content into schematics. Try to convert content into schematics or into diagrams. Though I have discussing various topics, you have already been drawing some diagrams in your class notes, but you have to be creative enough, you have to be innovative enough that you try to create some more diagrams and schematics. And in fact, this you can do with respect to question, like when you are revising a particular unit, go through the previous year's question itself, right? Many of the questions we have discussed, many questions you may have attempted also, some of the questions you have already written also, some may have already been evaluated. Now with respect to similar question, now every question will have some possibility of creating some kind of format, some diagram, some flowchart. So try to work upon your creativity. This is a time, you see, I would suggest that you can bring perfection in your writing skills, you can bring perfection in your presentation skills. This is very important for the main examination. Give next 3 months totally for preparation for your main examination and acquire all these skills. Do a lot of practice, right? So this is something which will happen in the test series also, okay? Because once we are giving from your side also, when you are attempting the question, you should try to create certain schematics or diagram. And when I will be discussing the question with you in our discussion session, then there I will give you some of these examples. I will demonstrate that in a particular question how you can create certain diagrams. So that would be important. This is a must which shall happen, okay? Then the third thing, of course, you will be doing alongside is practice a lot of answer writing. Okay, answer writing for you can happen in three different ways. Okay, first of all, either you join the test series program, through that it will happen, or I have an alternative for you also, that is answer evaluation program, through that it can happen. Or the third option is you do it by yourself. Okay, you can either take up the previous year's question, or you can take up some, maybe I have discussed some extra questions with you people, or you get some extra question from any other sources and you practice some answer writing from there. So there are different possibilities. I'm going to discuss a little more detail about this, but immediately what you have to do is, first of all, focus on your class notes. Try to I won't say mug up, but try to understand everything and try to assimilate, try to absorb everything, and so that it just gets into your mind totally and it's all mapped out there. And once the class notes you are remembering, okay, or maybe even if you have to mug up certain things, I would suggest that if it is required, you mug up also, mug up the entire class notes, okay, with understanding, because that is going to be your basic framework, basic skeleton, and any extra information is going to stick on it, right? So when you are reading something from the book, you will easily understand, and you may just get some new point, extra point, or some expression. Try to absorb that or either mention in your class notes itself. I'm just repeating because these are the things which you need to do precisely. And whatever articles we have given you, whether it is on bureaucracy, post bureaucracy, other different paradigms, as I will be talking about in relation to some of the units also, what you have to do, please read those articles and try to again either mark in the article itself or create some brief notes or framework from those articles also. Okay, and similarly you can also do, PIB and current updates, though maybe is not as important as these two affair is, but especially in paper 2 you need to do some kind of current updates, but that can happen even afterwards. Even if suppose you are not, if you are writing mains this year, then it is very important for now itself, and if you are not writing mains this year, then this particular aspect like PIB and current updates, this can happen later on also. Okay, so this is in general in relation to how you need to go about it. So value enrichment is very important. Then the third thing I am going to talk about is the focus area. What is going to be your focus area as far as your syllabus is concerned? Okay, first of all, whether, as I told you, that everyone has to be in the mode of writing mains itself, whether you are clearing your prelims or you are not clearing your prelims. You see that those people who have good ranks also, they have written the test series 3 to 4 years. Like those people who have cleared the exam in second attempt, in third attempt, they are consistently every year they are writing the test series. And I just don't understand why most of you are not interested, like as if after your prelims you people just vanish altogether and you either lose the vigor of your preparation, or I don't know, you get demotivated or what. But you need to charge up yourself, because that level of motivation has to be there no matter whatever is going to be the result, whether you achieve, you don't achieve, but you have to put your consistent effort for this examination. So for that purpose it is important that you do some kind of writing practice very rigorously, very intensively, and then only there will be results. Even after doing all that, there may be no result, but anyhow you have to do your job. So you can't shy away from this, you can't run away from this. So what is going to be the focus area as far as your syllabus is concerned? And I will also get into a little more detail as to what you have to do with respect to some of these important units, right? Where we talk about paper 1. In paper 1, the important units which you have, important units in paper 1, first of all is introduction. Now what you have to do with respect to introduction is, please, introduction, and also with respect to, I'm just adding here, development dynamics plus comparative public administration. These topics anyhow you are going to cover properly from Mohit Bhattacharya's book, okay, New Horizon. And I rather have already told you that you people need to study this book religiously, right? Whether any chapter is there in your syllabus or it is not there, but first you focus on those areas which are there in your syllabus. Even though there may be certain paradigms which are not mentioned as such in your syllabus, but these are new paradigms which have come afterwards, you have to cover all those paradigms. In fact, I have covered those paradigms in brief only, but I am going to discuss more and more of these paradigms in the test series discussions, so that not only we are covering all the recent changes, all the recent innovation that are happening as far as theoretical framework of the subject is concerned, we try to include everything in our test series discussion. So as far as introduction is concerned, as far as development dynamics and CPA is concerned, please try to cover Mohit Bhattacharya's New Horizon for Public Administration. Plus, along with that, please try to cover all the articles which have been given to you people, because many of these articles have those alternative paradigms given separately. Okay, apart from post bureaucracy, rest of the paradigms are also given there in those articles which you can cover, right? Otherwise, in this book you will get anyhow most of the issue. And try to be very clear with all the concepts there. Create a framework. Maybe in the class I might not have got all that time, right? In the basic sessions I may not have got all the time to get into the details of all the latest paradigms. I may have discussed it briefly, but you have to build upon it. But anyhow, I will be doing that in the test series discussions. Then as far as development dynamic and CPA is concerned, there is another book. I'm just mentioning this book. If you are interested, you can take if you have time. Those people who are targeting for this year's mains, then you can skip this, but those who are targeting for next year, you have sufficient time, so you can selectively read some of the chapters from social theory on development. Okay, social theories on development. This again is a book by Mohit Bhattacharya. Okay, and for CPA you anyhow have to cover this book. You have to cover Ramesh Arora's book, no matter what. Ramesh Arora's CPA. Okay, so study these books and focus on these 3 units first, because they are interrelated also. Okay, along with your class notes. Third thing you have to do is administrative thinkers. Now administrative thinkers, it is not that important that you cover many different sources. You can just focus on the book which I have already told you, Prasad and Prasad, which you have gone through it. You can focus on your booklet, your class material and class notes itself, and cover thoroughly and nicely from there. Focus more on the questions that have been asked. If you want to read something extra or alternative literature, any book, if you want me to suggest you, I will suggest you a book by Maheshwari. Okay, S.R. Maheshwari. So that book from, now all the thinkers may not be given, but whatever thinkers are given in S.R. Maheshwari's book, you can read those chapters also, and again do the same thing. Create certain framework, add certain points to your class notes itself, make them complete at one place. Okay. Then next unit which is important is administrative behavior. Okay, administrative behavior, you can fully rely on your booklet. Okay, everything has been given, but if you want to read, you can read Sharma and Sadhana's book also for administrative behavior. Last but not the least, there's this topic, public policy. Okay, in fact in the last batch I have taken very elaborately all these components of public policy in detail, and I will be discussing more. There will be a lot of questions on public policy in your test series, because this is a very important area of your syllabus. We see very frequently they ask questions, more and more questions are asked from public policy. So many things need to be further cleared in this, because in your classes that time I don't get all that time to discuss very elaborately some of these models also. Okay, and there is public policy is one area where there is so many models, so many theoretical framework, so much of innovation has happened across disciplines that it becomes very difficult to even cover everything. So at least in brief I will try to give you as much of insight in public policy through these test series, through the test series program itself. Okay, now in case if you have are having some questions. Okay, now Satya is also asking how is the Aribam's book. See, Aribam's book is a compilation. I would suggest that you should keep it as a last resort, because most of the things you should try to cover from the conventional books, and maybe in the end, if there are certain areas of the syllabus, suppose you are not able to cover, you cannot cover all the area of your syllabus thoroughly, right? So for some of the areas, some portions which you cannot cover that elaborately from other different sources, in the end you can cover everything from some compilation. And I think Aribam's good book would be good for that purpose, in case if you are, because you see that the kind of questions which are coming in the exam, right? If your concepts are clear, if you have done a thorough reading of different type of literature and more analytical literature, then only you are empowered to write better answers. Otherwise it is going to be difficult for you, right? So for this reason there will not be any shortcuts. There are no shortcuts, and specifically in this subject. But then when you are working that elaborately on reading more and more into such analytical literature, you will and be enriched in so many different ways, which is going to help you in other areas of your writing, whether it is essay writing, whether it is for other areas of your GS ethics paper itself. When you are analyzing something, or even in social issues, the quality of your answers, it will get enriched once you are reading more elaborate literature in public. Like for example, in development dynamics and CPA, there are so many issues where the social justice, social issues, policy area, it will be addressed, and all your GS answers, there may be more dimensions when you are writing them, right? So that's the reason why elaborate reading, elaborate study, getting into more analysis is important as far as some of the areas of the syllabus is concerned. Then one more unit which is important is personnel administration. Okay, personnel administration, you follow your booklet, and also you can then refer to, in this case, in personal administration civil services, I say that ARC report is very important, especially though it discusses about everything that is there in paper 2, but then even for paper 1 also, because it is giving you examples from across the world, it helps you also to enrich the content of paper 1 as well. So ARC report is important, or otherwise you can also follow the book of Sharma and Sadana for personnel administration. So your class notes, Sharma and Sadana, and ARC booklets. Now I have also combined here civil services of paper 2 in both of them. Anjali is asking a question. Yeah, I have provided you in the previous batch, I had provided you with a bulky IIPA booklet. Okay, so there's a bunch of IIPA articles which I had been providing, but in the recent batch I have not provided, because I think those articles, they are a little older. So I will be providing you, I will circulate through different channels and platform. I'll circulate more articles on IIPA. Okay, so you don't have to worry. But yes, those articles are also relevant. Selectively you can do some important areas, you can selectively pick up those articles also, right, from those IIPA journals also, because some older articles are also quite relevant. But still I will provide you separately. I will keep providing you some important IIPA articles which you can use to add value to your answer. See, one thing has to be made very clear. Ultimately you have to present everything in the exam, right, in the form of your answer, in the form of content. So what is very important is that you should be able to reproduce things, right? Just by merely reading from the articles, reading magazines, it will not suffice. You have to pick things from these articles, from this content, create certain framework, and later on you should also develop the ability of how to use, and not only how to use it, you have to create opportunity to use those content also, right? So maybe when you are writing the answer, you are bringing a particular dimension in that answer in which you can use that extra value enriched, value added content, something which is more analytical, or those expressions, it can be added over there. This is how you are going to use those articles and try to create certain frameworks so that you are going to reuse them when you are writing your answer. Otherwise everything would be merely a futile exercise. Okay, so I hope we are clear. You first focus only on these units. Okay, introduction, development dynamics CPA, administrative thinkers, public policy, and personal administration. So there are 6 units. That means you need to focus only on these 6 units first in your paper 1, and this I am telling you even to those people who are writing mains this year, that first you focus on these 6 units. For next year also you first focus only on these, have a mastery over these 6 units, because these 6 units, though it is in terms of, if you go by in terms of unit, it is making only 50% of your paper 1, but in terms of the questions which are asked in the exam, these 6 units these are going to make around 75 to 80% of questions which are asked in your paper 1. Okay, and rest of the units will relatively be far more easier. Once you have developed an understanding in these 6 units, rest of the units will become simply a cakewalk for you. Okay, so I hope you got the point. Any question in relation? Ayush is asking, what are the sources for public policy? Okay, public policy source. Yeah, I haven't told you. See, public policy source, first of all, you will cover it from your booklet. Okay, your booklet, it is very well structured in terms of all the models, whether it is relation to policy analysis, whether it is related to policy conceptualization, evaluation, monitoring, other things. Okay, but I would also suggest you, in that case, there is a book by, in case if you want to read some chapters, but then again you have to uh, from Sapru's book, you will be studying it very selectively. Okay, certain chapters are important. That's the reason why not always I don't tell that you buy this particular book. In fact, your in the test series itself, I will give you enough material which will help you to cover all areas, all peripheral areas of public policy, which are otherwise not covered either in the class or is not given also there in your booklet. Is that clear? But maybe you can follow this book, or if you don't want to follow this book, you can refer to IGNOU booklets. But important areas we have already integrated in your booklet, so you don't have to worry as far as IGNOU is concerned. But I think IGNOU is one of the best sources to study public policy. But in public policy also, we have, like, you have this policy science approach. Okay, now policy science approach by Harold Laswell, it has not been discussed properly anywhere. Okay, though I had discussed in the recent batch, I had discussed that in the class itself, but I can separately provide you some material on this, or either it will be there as part of your test series discussion. I hope you are clear with that, Ayush. So focus only on these 6 units. I have already told you the books which you have to follow. Now, what books? You have Mohit Bhattacharya, study it religiously for introduction, for development dynamics, for CPA. Have Ramesh Arora's book. Ramesh Arora's book is, this book is very enriching, not only for CPA. Okay, don't be under that misconception. This book is going to help you for CPA to strengthen your concepts also with respect to bureaucracy. Okay, and also development administration. So bureaucracy, CPA and development administration comprehensively, you should study Ramesh Arora's CPA book religiously. I consider it to be, both these books, New Horizon and Ramesh Arora's CPA, is a kind of a Bible for us as far as the UPSC's public administration syllabus is concerned. There are no books better than these two as far as what we have to study for UPSC. Okay, then you come to paper 2. Okay, I'm not focusing upon other areas. You can ask me separately also. You can get in touch with me directly through direct message and ask me in case if you have further doubt with respect to other areas of your syllabus. In paper 2, what are the important units? I have told this to you before in the class also, but it requires more emphasis. First and foremost, I would suggest union government and administration and state government and administration. This, it creates the very basic skeletal organizational framework for paper 2. So you need to cover these 2 units properly. In this also, I would suggest union government and administration is the most important unit of paper 2, because that establishes that entire structural framework for you to add other layers later on. Okay, so UGA, union government administration, SGA also, Kautilya and Mughal. This I discussed usually towards the end of the syllabus purposefully, because the reason why I discuss Kautilya and Mughal almost in the end is because in Kautilian administration you need to understand about the entire administration. So by the time you have understood the entire administrative system, it becomes easier to understand what Kautilya's idea is. And same goes with the Mughal administration. These two topics, these are not units, these are 2 topics from evolution of Indian administration. These 2 topics are very important because you are asked frequently questions almost every year. Most of the time there is a question either from either of these topics, and many years we have found that there are questions from both these topics also. So I think this will be getting you higher returns in terms of topic if you are covering. Then of course district, I will tell you the sources also. District administration, rural development. That will also include your Panchayati Raj system. Then civil services. Civil services you will integrate with personal administration. Along with that you will do. Then plan and priorities, and plus public sector, right? I think I have discussed quite elaborately public sector, all the reforms in the class itself. So you don't have to do anything extra except for going through the public enterprise survey report. Okay, public enterprise survey report, that also very selectively we have given you a report in your booklet also. You can go through that also, because every year there aren't many changes, right? There may be very slight changes every year. So even if the report is 1, 2, 3 years old also, that report will suffice. And in the report also, whatever has been given in your booklet, though we had selected important things only and have given, but there also you can be more selective and try to follow the way we have discussed in the class, right? So all important areas of reforms you need to cover over there. Then in plan and priorities, you have to focus more on Niti Aayog. Okay. So Niti Aayog in the older batches, I mean, as the batches have progressed, I have discussed more and more details about Niti Aayog, because a lot many things have been happening. And the recent batch I had discussed a lot more detail. I have reduced the discussion on the older planning machinery. I used to discuss it more elaborately earlier, but now it has lost its relevance. But you need to still understand what the earlier planning regime was, at least structurally and in terms of issues, because they may ask you to compare also. They have been asking questions in comparison. And even about the older planning commission, because see, recently even Amit Shah, Home Minister, had given one of the statements. He was in most of the occasion, these people neglect the older institutional frameworks, right? They emphasize more on Niti Aayog and New India and other things. But we have seen in one of the recent speeches, even Amit Shah had talked about that planning commission. It has achieved so much for our society, and on that basis things could be built up by Niti Aayog in the new policy framework. So plan and priorities, the older regime, is also important, but you don't have to beat around the bush for that. You just focus in whatever is given in your booklet. That is more than sufficient. But for Niti Aayog, in fact, in the recent batches we have integrated more literature. But if the people have done it like in earlier batches, then you have to take a little extra support about the developments which have taken place under the edges of Niti Aayog in recent years. Okay. Now, if you talk about these areas, from what are going to be the sources of study, okay? As far as union government, see, I have already told you that there are 3 books which you should refer, okay? Awasthi and Awasthi, Arora and Goyal, and Hoshiar Singh. So what is the difference in these 3 books? What is the difference in these 3 books? After you have studied, or maybe you have also referred these books, you have studied some literature from, what is the basic difference among these 3 books? Awasthi and Awasthi is very strong in terms, it's very substantive, it's substantive content, okay? Substantive content means something which is required to build a very elaborate base is there in Awasthi and Awasthi. So organizational details, and especially with respect to, I would say, everything that is more static, all the static organizations is given better in Awasthi. Because Awasthi, this book is not well updated. So you will not be able to find out the new institutional changes which have been happening, or new organizational changes that have been happening in the recent years in this particular book. But if you talk about the problems which have been there in some of the older organizations, especially with respect to secretariat, field agencies, headquarter field relationships, all those areas. So permanent executive, this is more static. Permanent executive is given better in Awasthi and Awasthi. So those organizational details you can study when you are studying from your class notes. And maybe some students who may not have been part of our classes, whatever classes you have attended, whatever notes you have, try to add certain value from the source. Or maybe after having gone through your class notes, you just read those areas from these books also. Let's just see if you get certain extra points. Just see if you get a new dimension, and bring and add it to your class notes itself. Keep adding to your class notes itself, because that is the best way to prepare. In the end, you just have to revise only your class notes and nothing else. Arora and Goel, this book, all as you already know, it is good for political executive and also for local government, for decentralization, local government, even for district administration. Those things are given properly in Arora and Goel. And Hoshiar Singh is most analytical, right? This is more analytical literature for paper 2, and a lot of issues are discussed in this book. Okay, a lot of issues like problems and challenges associated with different organizations, with different components in the administrative system of India. Those have been discussed in little more detail over here, so you can get certain points from there also, right? So I think that in the end, what is most important, once you have done the classes, once you have understood the entire system, right, I think this is the most important book to be studied because it is very analytic. Even if you religiously study Hoshiar Singh for paper 2 and you study religiously Mohit Bhattacharya like New Horizon for paper 1, this will, I think it will suffice for 60% of the requirement of content on the basis of which you will be writing answers in the exam. Okay, any question if you have, you can ask that on the basis, on this basis, anyone? Perfect. Now let us see. Now let me tell you something about the test series program. Okay, so we are going to talk about the test series now. Some of you have already shown your interest. Okay, I wanted to get a clear idea about as to how many of you are interested in joining the test series program, because we have to do the planning accordingly for that. So what all, first and foremost, I had circulated a planner with you. Okay, let me first discuss the planner, then I will tell you the process of how we are going to take it up. Okay, so let us see the overall. We have 10 tests. Okay, overall we have 10 tests in the test series program, in which there will be 6 section wise tests and 4 simulated full test. Okay, 2 for paper 1 and 2 for paper 2. Now in this planner, if you can see, we have mentioned some basic sessions. Okay, apart from today, see, today's session is very general. Okay, today I'm just discussing about what shall be your approach from now onwards, right, in terms of your motivational levels, in terms of your disposition, personal disposition, and also in terms of what shall be your approach in your studies, right, and specifically with respect to this subject. That is very important, because a lot of you get confused. Many of you have just vanished in terms of, like, after you give your prelims, and this happens almost every year, that you give your preliminary examination, and just because you are not getting through it, you just just there's a altogether you lose touch with the entire game, and in between I don't know what happens for 2 or 3 months. You people are not focusing, though you cannot waste any time immediately after writing your prelims. Maybe take a small break, whether you are clearing the prelims or you are not clearing the prelims. Gear up and get back to your preparation as if you are writing the main examination this year itself. I mean, I have been telling this again and again to everyone, batches after batches, but still I feel that maybe you guys need to charge up, get charged up more. Okay, so apart from today's session, the next 2 sessions which are scheduled on 24th June and 25th June, as you can see in this planner, they are very important. Okay, especially the 3rd session is very, very important. Analytical tools for public administration. Now this is something which actually there's a lot of innovation I have done there, based upon a multidisciplinary understanding of what should be there with respect to this subject, that how can you brainstorm in different directions. The moment you have access to those analytical tools, immediately with respect to any question you have, with respect to whatever answers you have to write, you will be able to generate a lot of dimensions, generate a lot of points using those analytical tools. And somehow those analytical tools, because it's a very well classified framework of different types of tools are there, different classification, you will also get to know that how some of those tools specifically, or some components of those tools, can be used to answer certain types of questions. And not only that, Once you have clarity about this entire, I would say, I don't say see it as a theoretical framework or tools only for public administration. It is cross disciplinary in the sense that it provides you a broader theoretical framework of from different social science perspective, that you will be able to create far more dimensions in your answers. And that is, we have a lot of disturbance going on because of some elections going on here, so a lot of background music is there. But anyhow, so what I was telling is that once you have these analytical tools in your hand, then it will become easier for you even to understand the question, because you will get to know as to, okay, what is the underlying idea behind the question, what is the context of the question. You will better be able to understand the question and then address to its requirement. So that session is going to be very important, which is falling on 25th June, and on 24th June I'm going to talk about how you can enrich your content, right? Like for example, one of the ways is to add value through different diagrams on schematics. So what all different types of diagrams or schematics, in what areas it could be created, how will you innovate, how will you, so this is going to be an enrichment empowering session for that purpose. I hope you are clear with that. Sana is saying that she hasn't done Hoshiar Singh as of now. In case you are writing mains this year, can the book be covered completely or important areas would suffice? I think that in case if you are getting confused, you can always ask me which are more important chapters, Sana. Okay, anyone who's getting confused, you can always ask me, and especially those people who are writing mains, you are time pressed, so there are certain ways I can help you or support you, right? I can tell you which are the important areas, which are the important chapters, because that's very important. Okay, but I think that, even if you can study all the chapters, that book is quite enriching, right, in terms of all the area of your syllabus. So even if you are doing it entirely, I think it's not like it's going to help you less. Okay, then of course, as you can see in the planner, we have the test schedule, six sectional tests. So paper 1 we have divided in 3 parts, and some interrelated units we have kept together, because sometimes the questions are also, they mix up and ask you questions. So according to that, we have structured our plan this way as far as the tests are concerned. After every test, immediately after every test, there will be a discussion on that particular test itself. Now I will tell you the process how we are going to do this also so that you get a better idea. See what happens, we will have a test portal. Okay, if you want, I can show you that also. Like we have a test portal, this one. Okay, so in this one, like this is from the student side. I'm not showing you the backend side of it, I'm showing you the student side. Like for example, we have been conducting some answer evaluation slate. Okay, I said it got logged off, so maybe I'll just tell you that in this section, mains test, the tests will be uploaded, okay, for you. So the question paper will get uploaded that day itself in the morning. When you will have the test, you will get access at 11. You can download the question paper, and also we will also upload the answer booklet. Okay, answer booklet, but then you will have to, of course, take a printout of that answer booklet, and then you attempt the test, write the answers in that answer booklet, and you have to upload it. This entire process I will explain to you separately, maybe through a separate video, or over the WhatsApp also. I can explain you the process of how to go about it. Okay, you will upload your answers, and then your answers will get evaluated, and when we will upload your evaluated answer sheet, and you can download them, right? Then what we'll also have, after you have written the test, as you can see in the planner itself, let's go to the planner. There is discussion after the test, right? So in the morning, like 9, you will start writing, sorry, not 11, you'll write the test at 9. So 9, let's say 3-hour test. So 9 to 12 you will write the test, take a break, then from 1, maybe around 1 we will have our discussion, or 12:30 we will have our discussion. I will tell you the exact time of the discussion. So from 12:30 to 3:30, and these discussions are going to be a little longer because we have to discuss a lot of questions there. Okay, so 3-hour discussion around on each and every test will be there, and then this discussion will be done where? It will be there through the the Academy app. So I will show you that also. So we have this app in which there will be a new course added, Public Administration Test Series program. In that we will upload, first of all, there will be live option also there. You can see the live videos of all these tests, and alongside we will also upload the videos also. So in case there is going to be a flexibility also, because in case if you are not able to write the test that day itself, then you can take the test at some other point of time also. Maybe you can reschedule your test according to your convenience, because the question paper answer booklet is always available. You can download it, write the test and upload it. Okay, it can be evaluated afterwards also, and then you can watch because we will upload the discussion video also on the app, so you can watch those videos back again. So that flexibility is going to be there as part of this test series. So you will have access to all the video discussions in the app itself, right? And you will get all your evaluated answer sheets through the test series portal. I hope you have got some clarity over there. In case if you still have to ask, right, any question in relation to the process, I'm here to answer those questions, or otherwise further details you can always get in touch with me directly for answering your questions. Okay, then I have also to tell you about the discussion of the test series. These discussion of the test series is something very valuable in terms of let me write it. Okay, discussions. How the discussion in the test series is going to help you. First of all, it is going to cover peripheral areas. Okay, peripheral areas which we could not cover in the class, or which we have discussed very briefly in the class. So peripheral areas discussed. Okay, new ideas or paradigms, right? In paper 2 we will have the current issues integrated. Current issues updates will be there. They will be asked as part of the questions also, or maybe wherever required I can throw a little more dimension, can mention some recent changes, because a lot many things they can happen. You see, you are already empowered that you can integrate current affairs. Once you have understood the syllabus, once you have understood this subject, you can always easily integrate the current affairs issues. But yes, how it has to be done, how will you present in the answer, these discussions are going to help you there. Then of course, value enrichment. Now value enrichment in two terms. Value enrichment in terms of, I would say, in terms of expressions. Because what happens is that in your answer structure which you are going to get, or even the discussion what we are doing, I am more interested in using the correct analytical expressions which is to be used in different answers. So you get enriched through these answer structure. You can even underline. I will make you underline. Like for example, I give you the answer structure. It will be given like before we will start discussing, the answer structure will be available with you. So you will sit with the answer structure. I will be discussing, and you can easily underline some of the important analytical expressions in those answer structure itself, which you can mug up, remember, and use in many different other answers. So this way you get a lot of such expressions which can be reused. Okay, second thing is about the schematics, or you can say some kind of diagrams, presentation, how this is to be done. Then maybe how will you integration of examples or cases. Maybe there may be some questions like for example leadership oriented questions on chief minister, questions on governor, questions on prime minister, questions on district administration, or maybe questions on leadership roles at the grassroots level. There can be certain examples or cases. If you want, we can provide you something more in that separately, though there are certain case studies given in some of your booklets, like on local government rural development we have given you some case studies. You can selectively use from there also, but maybe certain extra can be provided. Certain things can be discussed as part of these questions as well. So there you have some kind of value enrichment happening. So these are the important components which will be there as far as discussions in the test series program is concerned. Question paper pattern will be similar to the actual exam. Yes, exactly. So we have 10 tests, right? 10 tests, same pattern as in exam. Only that there are 6 sectional tests and 4 full tests. So 4 full tests will be the entire syllabus of that particular paper, 2 on paper 1, 2 on paper 2, and 6 sectional tests, but the number of questions and the pattern will remain the same as it is there in the exam. Okay, and you have the same stipulated time frame, same total number of marks which you will have to attempt. And maybe in the next session itself I can also talk something about time management. Okay, time management, because it's very crucial how you need to, in how much time you need to write every answer of a given particular words, how much time is required, so we can focus, throw some light also on time. In fact, time management and discipline are the key issues why you are doing the test series, right? And of course doing the practice, that within the time frame your mental faculty, it works at its best, because once you have done a lot of practice, you know, through the test, then only you are able to think immediately and write in the exam. A lot of people do not understand the importance of practice here. Without practice, right, I mean, if you think that, okay, I will write the test, I will write answers when I will clear prelims, it will never work like that. You have to be consistently in the writing mode once you have completed your syllabus, because it is through the practice in the test series or even in the answer writing, whatever you have created, this much, once you create something while you are writing one particular answer, it will always there with you, and you can use that entire creation when you are creating something more later on, or when you are writing some more answers later on. So please try to understand the importance of practice. Without practice, it is not going to happen. Okay. So these things will be part of your discussion. And then last thing what I wanted to discuss with you, right, is if you have any question on the test series, you please ask me. I have just, because I generally tend to go a little faster because I don't want to waste your time. Another thing is answer evaluation slate. Okay, now this is an alternative to test series. In case if some of you do not want to join the test series, which I can understand obviously, because see, what happens is that, to be very frank, in the test series programs, it takes a lot of effort from our side. Okay, creating those many questions, their answer structures, getting into the discussion, evaluation, it's a very comprehensive and cumbersome exercise. And for that reason, even the charges which have been kept for the test series programs are a little higher, because it becomes very difficult to deal with all different aspects otherwise, because we also that we require a lot of support from our team also, isn't it? Because we are busy taking classes and doing so many other things, so it becomes very difficult for us to handle everything. So in case if you find that maybe you are not that keen to join the test series program, or maybe you feel that you are not prepared also for that. A lot of people tell me that you are not prepared, you want some 1 or 2 months to prepare yourself, and especially this comes in when you are not doing that well in prelims, you get disheartened and you feel that as if you are not prepared. I don't think that you should judge yourself. Don't be self-judgmental on that ground. Even if you have not done fairly well in your prelims, don't let it take a toll on you. Be very confident, because after all you have already done some good amount of preparation. It's just a question of revision, and you can take test series itself as a tool for disciplining yourself and for actually doing the revision. Because if the test series is not there, or if the answer evaluation slate is not there, then probably things will go haywire for you, right? You may not be able to gather yourself properly in terms of time which you are going to utilize in this part of your preparation. So what is this answer evaluation slate? Answer evaluation slate that we have introduced in the academy, this basically is a subscription based platform. Okay, it's a subscription based platform in which you can subscribe for. There are 2 options for you: 3-month subscription and 6-month subscription, where you can write answers like you have. In both the cases, 6-month and 5-month subscription, you will be given 5 questions every week. Okay, 5 questions every week will be posted as a question paper. Before that, there will also be a planner given to you. Okay, a planner will be given. It will be for 6 months or it will be for 3 months. For both the programs you will get the planner. The schedule will be given that this week the question is going to be from these areas of the syllabus, right? Because in the planner within 3 months we try to cover the entire syllabus so that you are able to write answers on all different areas of the syllabus. Now what happens in 3 month planner, you will do revision once of the entire syllabus. In 6 month planner you will do the revision twice of the given syllabus. This is how we will structure the planner, and we will be giving you questions every week to write. So 5 questions will be posted. Then once you get those questions, you will have to write the answers. Either you write it separately, but all the answers, all 5 answers have to be submitted all together and posted there on the portal at the end of the week, and within the stipulated time they will be evaluated and you can download. Along with that you will also get the answer structure, a very good answer structure of all those questions which you have written, right? So you will get your evaluated copies with a lot of comments in that and also suggestions of how you can improve, and along with that you will get answer structure. But in this case there is not going to be any discussion part is not there in these answer evaluation slate. I have not yet shared the details of our answer evaluation slate program. It is going to start from 15th of July onwards. Okay, then at any point of time, like every month at any point you can join it. Like new slate will start every month, so every month you will have the option of joining it. Either you can join the 3-month course or you can join for 6 months, right? As I told you, 3 months there will be 1 revision of the entire syllabus. 6 months you will have 2 revision of the entire syllabus. Is that clear? This answer evaluation slate is there for optional also, and it is also there for general studies, for both of them. Optional we have, as of now we have the optional of public administration, sociology and political science and international relations, and we also have an answer evaluation slate for general studies. Again for GS also you will get the similar planner and you will revise all different areas of GS if you want to join that. Okay, further details anyhow we will float the brochure for answer evaluation slate, and probably we will have another video, a detailed video being made for how you can enroll and what shall be the entire process of answer evaluation slate separately as well. So those of you who are not interested in joining the test series program, then for continuity maybe you will write less every week. Maybe you are preparing some areas of the syllabus and then you write few answers. So then this particular platform will be more helpful for you, and you can even join for 6 months, a longer duration. But generally I suggest people to join for 3 months, take the experience, and if it is helping you out then you can join for another 3 months. That's I think will be more fruitful and helpful. When some people who are like, who have already written a lot of answers before, who have already written mains maybe, who want to practice, if you want to enroll for 6 months also you can do that. It is up to you. In fact, some of the students had enrolled like last year, and many of them had written some good answers. Some people wrote mains also out of that. One of the person from the because we started the program last year, we had lesser number of students, but one of the persons has actually cleared the exam also, right? So though his rank is not that great, but then obviously I hope that this year he'll get a very good rank. So we may see that if more of you are interested in, if not in the test series, then maybe you can join the answer. But writing is must. Answer writing practice along with evaluation, proper good evaluation, which we emphasize a lot, because what happens is we may not be ourselves evaluating directly many of these. Sometimes we get time, so we also evaluate, like as faculty members we evaluate, but then we have a team of evaluators who again have some experience of writing the mains and even clearing the main examination. So they are there to give you their inputs. Then we also go through it once. Even in the test series program the same thing happens, is that like usually what happens, if there is a lesser time available with me, so definitely I will go through at least some of your copies for sure, but then there is a team which will be working and I will be looking after, so doing supervision of how the evaluation has been done, and at least all of your test I will go through some portion at least, and so that I can write some remark and see that what improvements are happening as far as your writing is concerned. Okay, so let me tell you that we have a team which is there, which is working for the test series also, and there's a team which is working for the answer evaluation slate also. So whatever suits you, you can join and you can ask me more detail about either of them. Any question if you have now, you can ask me, or you want to me to throw light on any of the areas of public administration, because more of it will happen in the second and the third session itself. So I can take that up. So this is what I wanted to discuss. My question regarding answering. Okay, what is your question? Where have you? What was the question, Satya? Your question regarding answering. Okay, let me just see. What was your question? Okay, okay. Satya is saying that, sir, I started answer writing of GS, but I couldn't do well in PubAd. I couldn't find enough content for answering what to do. For example, if I picked Woodrow Wilson or Taylor, I found easy with the theory but couldn't connect with Indian perspective. Okay. This is something, you see, if you have understood the context, like for example, you see, I mean, you talk about these two only. Let's say, Frederick Winslow Taylor. Okay. If you talk about Taylor, okay, and if you talk about Woodrow Wilson, now his question is that you fail to, get the content, how to interrelate. You see, every thinker, now when I have been discussing the thinker, all of you are well aware, those who have attended the class, that first of all we discuss the context. Okay, the context could be their social background, the context could be their country, what is happening, the context could be the political environment in the world, the context could be their own personal life, what they have experienced personally. So a lot many things would go into context. Understanding of context only will help you to better understand as to why are they giving these ideas, what has inspired them, or what has affected them, or what has given them some kind of emotional jolt that they have been coming up with some of these ideas. So understanding of the context itself will help you to better understand their content in terms of what their contributions have been. Second thing is about their ideas, right? Propositions, what they have given, what ideas they have proposed. Third thing is, of course, analysis of proposition. Generally what I do in my discussion, I integrate the analysis along with the proposition itself. We try to elaborately discuss that, and a lot of analysis of proposition happens when you are dealing with the questions. And you see, public administration is such a wonderful subject. When you deal with the question, you see, it gives you, it brings in a lot of new ideas every time you look at the question itself, because the question itself is very creative. It is, taking you into the realm of new thinking. Maybe it is not directly given, but because the question is asked such, then you have to try to, okay, think and relate how this is related to that particular thinker, and then all together a new window opens up, a new dimensions comes in front of you. Right. So analysis of proposition, either it happens two ways. One is the elaboration when we do, even if you do self-study, when you are looking at the propositions of the thinkers, that means their contribution, what the idea they have given, you need to think a little bit on those ideas. And once you will think, you will get into more dimensions, right? Or another way is to look at the questions. Through the questions, then you look back at the thinkers, and that will help you generate some more points. So if suppose you have suppose you're not writing answer, you're just looking at 10 questions which have been asked on Taylor beforehand. Those 10 questions are 10 new windows, 10 new approaches to look at Taylor. So you get 10 new dimensions, and when you are answering the 11th question, you already have those 10 dimensions to use when you are writing your 11th answer. Next is, we always discuss the relevance. What is the relevance and what is the criticism of the thinker? Criticism is fine, but relevance and significance is very important. Relevance and significance overall in general sense, in specific sense, significance is their relevance. It could be contemporary relevance, or it could be a relevance in a particular society. So you see, the relevance of Taylor could be where? It could be in developed society. It could be in developing society. Now you understand well how you can create that context. This is how the question is asked. In the developing society also, there may be different types of regimes. There may be democracies, democratic administration, there may be bureaucratic administration, there can be military or dictatorial administration where the ideas of Taylor are more relevant. Which system will require the scientific management of Taylor, or It could be applied everywhere, but in a different way. In democracy, what is the significance of Taylor? In a bureaucratic system, what is the significance of Taylor? These things you should be able to think by yourself also. This is the reason why I always emphasize to you people to read books and articles rather than focusing on books like Aribam or focusing upon compilation. Until and unless you will read more widely also, and you will think and try to use different areas of syllabus for doing this interrelation, you will not be able to generate as much of perspective, right? In developed societies, it could be depending upon whether it is a capitalist society or whether it is a socialist society, right? Or maybe relevance could be also in different terms, in cultural terms. Relevance could be, let's say, in rural areas, in rural administration, or in urban administration. Now, this is what I was talking about, that I will talk about a very big analytical framework through different tools which will help you a lot to answer all these different types of questions and do these interrelations in this subject. Okay, now the question you have asked, how the idea is applied with respect to India. In Indian administration, where it is relevant, and in fact I do this discussion in the class also, that where do you think the ideas of the thinker is relevant, in which administration, right? Like for example, Taylor's idea is because it is scientific management principles. In fact, you know this well. Then when administrative reforms was happening in India, in the very first phase initially, when we have this O&M, organization and methods division was created, most of the ideas of classical thinkers were taken up. Taylor's idea of scientific management of the work process, it is related with work process, right? How will you do the work? How the work is happening? Two places it is very important. One is in the office management itself. In the office management means the way the file is disposed, the way the file is managed, right? The way other different utilities are being used in the office. So within the secretariat also it will have some relevant, and the idea of Taylor is relevant in the field work, where the work, exactly the work of implementation is happening. Right? Similarly, if you talk about Woodrow Wilson, how Woodrow Wilson is, and then you also think that why field administration is more important for India, because India is a developing society. A lot of work is taken by the government, by the state itself for doing the implementation work in the field, especially the technical development departments. Talk about irrigation department or public works department, their workshops which are there on the field, how they are working, how they need to be managed. The ideas of Taylor is very important over there. I hope you are getting the point, Satya. You will have to, try to understand and try to think more, right? Try to see the entire expanse of administration. Look at it. What all is happening all around you, what you are studying and what you could see, and then bring in and try to think, interrelate, generate such dimensions. Okay. You talk about Woodrow Wilson. How Woodrow Wilson's idea is applicable to India? Woodrow Wilson's major, though there are many things he talks about, but the most important things of course is politics administration dichotomy. In Indian administration, you see, I'll tell you how the Woodrow Wilson's idea is very important for India, right? I don't know if you people can think something and answer this. Politics administration dichotomy. How is it relevant for India? Can you answer, some of you, this question? How politics administration, like maybe one liner, if I ask, there can be 10 different answers to this question. Or if I'm writing answer, I can, I will write immediately. I can tell you 10 different points you can write under this. I can think from different perspective, but still I would ask you that can you tell me the most important single, idea how Woodrow Wilson's politics administration dichotomy is relevant for India? If you can answer that. How? I know that it is going to take a lot of time for you people to respond, but let me tell you. Say politics administration dichotomy is politics interfering in administration. No? You see that in India, Indian administration, as I always say, that it is perhaps the most complex or most difficult administration in the world. Why it is most difficult? Because of the enormity of problems, enormity of challenges which is there to address Indian administration. and at the same it is a democracy. What kind of democracy it is? A democracy where people still do not have that kind of capacity which is required in a mature democracy, right? People can easily be moved, people can easily be mobilized, they can easily be befooled by use of different methods of mass propagation or different tools of mass propagation. So what happens is that there may be too much of political, you can say, political mobilization, too much of political churning happening in the society, and people, they are taken abide by it, they don't even understand it also properly. And this is how the politicians are making use of people. They are not focusing on administration, they are just befooling people with politics. This could be one of the ways you see how populism, it destroys democracy. And then how in populism politics administration dichotomy is very relevant. That if I am, now today we talk about governance. Why we have started to talk about governance? Because we have seen the ineffectiveness, inefficiency of administration. Right? We want deliverance, we want development to happen, we want our administration to work properly. So then, until and unless we will reduce the political interference from administration, how will it work? Because of the problem of corruption, because of problem of illiteracy, because of problem of populism, politics administration dichotomy is more relevant for Indian society, for Indian administration. I hope you people are getting my point. Sahana has answered something. Politics administration dichotomy is relevant in bureaucracy, in interpersonal character. Of course, that's there. But you see that what peculiar aspects of Indian society and Indian politics I have looked into. This may not be mentioned in the books. But if you have really understood Woodrow Wilson is his idea, if Woodrow Wilson has somehow got transfused in your blood, then your mind should be able to think about how it will work in the Indian context, or his ideas will work in the Indian context. Complete dichotomy can't be. No, I'm not saying that there has to be complete dichotomy. I'm just explaining that why dichotomy is important. Of course, Woodrow Wilson himself says his approach has been an ambivalent approach. He himself says that politics administration dichotomy needs to be separated, but there is a control of politics over administration also, isn't it? So in Indian context also, if the politically, if we are mature politically, we want to control administration also. So you are right when you say that there cannot be complete. I was just explaining the dichotomy aspect. Then this also can be explained, the very idea where Wilson says that though there should be politics administration dichotomy, but some kind of control is also required. Then you give the reason why political control over administration is important in India and how it can happen. So this is a question of accountability, isn't it? Why do we have right to information? After all, we have right to information so that we can control the administration politically also, so that by that means also it becomes more efficient, right? So you see the relationship between politics and administration is complicated in the sense that you can use politics itself to make administration more efficient, right? You can use politics to make administration more efficient. At the same time, you can remove politics from administration also to make it more efficient. Both these things need to be explained properly. COVID-19 second wave, everybody working together. Okay, more elaboration is required in that case, but good to see that you people have been responding. So I hope, Satya, you are getting the point and other people are also getting the point. It's a question of getting into the realm of thoughts. Do more thinking, be creative, and there is no limit of what you can generate as far as content in your answers. This is the reason why I say there is so much of opportunity in this particular subject. So much opportunity. If people can understand, clear their concepts, understand everything, cover the syllabus properly, and then they practice a little bit and develop this dimension, then this can help you a lot, not only in scoring wonderful marks in your optional paper, but it is going to be helpful for your GS answer writing, even in your essay. And you never know that how it is going to be getting you a lot of brownie points when it comes to your interview preparation. Yes, right. Any other question you people have? If you don't have question, then or on the test series itself, if something needs to be made more clear to you, though I have to take two more sessions in which I will be clearing more things for you. But this is how those people, but one thing I want from your side is that those people who are interested, you should get in touch immediately with us, so that we'll give you some guidance for the upcoming test, right? Because we are starting from 26th itself, so you have less time. So those people who are interested, please get in touch and try to see that you are well prepared right from the beginning, the very first test itself. Okay, so this is all what I wanted to discuss. Okay, now Satya has one more question. And can talk, yes sir, I've understood, can talk more but can't reflect in paper, what to do? Okay, you can think about it, but what happens to put the ideas on the paper? Okay, let me tell you this also. Like for example, this itself, I said, you think about Woodrow Wilson and relate Woodrow Wilson with India. Okay, now if I'm trying to relate Woodrow Wilson with India, first and foremost, you need to do some kind of brainstorming. Okay, now when we talk about Woodrow Wilson, how can I relate to India? You can think about the peculiarity that is there in Indian society. You can think India as a developing society, right, which is of course part of this society itself. You can think of problems in administration, right? You can think about corruption. Now to be, these are some of the points. You can think about the inefficiencies which are there. You can think about the political interferences which are there. You can think about the lack of you can say citizen activism, and so on. You can think about broader points. Then with respect to each point, you should be able to create one sentence. Okay, so this is the reason why I always tell in the class that when you have started to write answers, first you please start writing down a brief structure and then an elaborated structure. Write one sentences for all these points. At least you will have, if you have 10 dimensions in which you have thought, you have 10 points to write. So you write those 10 sentences. Okay, don't write the complete answer. First start practicing those 10 sentences. Write those 10 sentences. Then maybe next step would be that every sentence what you have written, you can elaborate it. That means one sentence you wrote, whatever you have written, further elaborate it in one or two more sentences. Then you can think about, okay, let me combine similar points together and create one paragraph. These are the steps through which you will learn answer writing. So the most important thing is first to generate content, have the brief structured points, and then write the elaborated sentence. The day you will start writing these 10 sentences, explaining properly each and every point, you will be 60% empowered in writing answers. So randomly you just cannot, go ahead, you have taken up a question, you started writing, and then you think that by writing itself it will improve. No. There has to be a conscious approach and right strategy. You have to see that what are the steps you have to follow to graduate, to learn answer writing. Is that clear, Satya? Okay. So I think all your questions must have been addressed by now. For further questions, doubts, queries, you can always directly get in touch with me. Okay, I'm looking forward towards interacting with you further in those sessions. The session which is there on, let me just go back once more on to this, the session which is falling on the 24th of June. Okay, that session we will have an open session again for everyone. That means it will be public. But the session which will be on 25th June, because that is something very exclusive, so that's a lot of creation involved there, though the session on 25th is not going to be public. Okay, but it will be there for all our students. I will share the link with you. So you people anyhow can see that particular session, and that is going to be important. Okay, and of course then discussion session will be available only for those people who will enroll for the test series program. So you can get further details with us on the test series as also on answer evaluation slate program as well. Okay, so we will stop it here. It was wonderful to have you people here once again back and having this interaction also. Thank you Satya Narayan for so many queries, and you can get back in touch with us again if you have more such queries. Okay, so thank you so much. I will be seeing you often, like through these sessions or otherwise also. And once we have started with our classes, the physical classroom programs are started. If you people want to come and see me also sometime or discuss anything, you can do that. But try to keep in touch, and please do discuss. Most of you just vanish after the exam. I don't know where you people go. I'm so interested in keeping touch and in interacting with you people. Okay, see you all then. Thank you so much.